Hey, Damon, how you doing? All right, I've got your work up here. I've got the sketch up right here. So let me see. I was just looking at your writings. I've got a ping pong narrative I had here. I really did a quick sketch because I could decide what idea to use and have a lot going on right now. This narrative is ping pong racket breaking. It gets replaced with a mouse. I know I need to add a lot of details to the work, but spacing with this. Yeah, all right. I just wanted to make sure there's nothing I needed to address in the writing, and it doesn't look like there is. There's no question. So I just wanted to, let's just go right this point. We'll jump right over to the sketch, which I'll reduce a little bit so it fits in the window. So you're right. Yeah, that sketch is really super underdeveloped. And the caveat there and the relevance there is that, you're for the rest, or I should say the duration of your career, as a designer, you're going to be asked to sketch your ideas. And it's not that we're looking for, great Rembrandt quality sketches, but we're looking for the ability to really express your ideas through sketching. So in that regard, I think that you did a good job telling the story here. I think that the quality of the sketches, the time involved, and the effort and engagement, I think, could all be improved in the sketches. Right now, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 frames, and that's not enough. I would shoot for at least 10 to 12 frames. Any more than that, and we kind of risk the chance of losing the viewer, and any less than that, we're risking an incomplete thought process. So there's a couple of things here, though. So the way I see it is this. Okay, this dude's playing ping pong. I think you should figure out a way to show him playing ping pong, sketched so he's playing with someone else, so that we know that he's in a game of ping pong and he breaks his racket somehow. This isn't specifically clear how. I see the racket is broken, but it's not specifically clear how the racket got broken, and I think that's a relevant point up to the narrative. So we want to decipher how the actual racket gets broken. Then we have this one, what to do. And then we have each sketch from here on, it has a little thought or a little kind of a text dialogue. Now, don't forget, this assignment, we cannot use text at all. So none of this is permitted. So we have to figure out a way to give the message without the text, okay? So what to do? So at this point, so we have the broken thing. I think a good way to represent this one would be like this, or like this, or like, here, let me get in the screen so you can see, like this, like, what do I do now? Do you see what I'm saying? Or like, see, so this is, I think I see a finger right there. So yeah, so that's not bad. Then we come over here, light bulb. I would connect the light bulb with the dude, okay? So instead of just showing the light bulb, show the little dude with this like, aha moment, and he's got the light bulb. Then this is the part where it gets a little bit unclear. Like, why would he select a mouse? And like, why, like, I'm just thinking, like, if I broke a ping pong paddle and I was in the middle of a game of ping pong, I think a mouse would be probably like one of the last. And I know don't mean to sound discouraging at all. I just want this to make sense. Like, I just don't, there's no connection to me between a mouse and a ping pong racket. Do you see what I'm saying? So I'm just wondering where that comes in. That's a little bit unclear. It's a little bit disconnected, so to speak. So let's just talk about the example right before yours, okay? So some of these examples, this example right here, this is John's example, right? And this makes sense because this is a trucker's cap for a spaghetti colander. And this makes a lot of sense because the dude's wearing his baseball cap. So all of a sudden he says, okay, I need a strainer. Wait, the back of my cap is a strainer. There's definitely a connection there. So I'm going to use the back of my cap as that screened back of the cap as a strainer. Do you see what I'm saying? So there's a logical connection between the solution and the problem. But I don't really see that logical connection between using a computer mouse as a ping pong paddle. Do you see what I'm saying? So really think about how you can just make this really. I know it's kind of an absurd. We're kind of flirting with the absurd here, and that we're using household items in a way that they're not intended to. So, but I still think there should be a level of sense. Okay, and again, I just want to reinforce. I'm not trying to be discouraging at all. But I'm wondering what we can do here, so let me know. All right, so to continue on, we have, don't forget, we can't have any words at all, at least 12 frames. And also, you might want to think about something to connect the frames. I think it's a good idea to connect the frames. So that you just have a basic line here. But what if you were to use something like ping pong balls, a trail of ping pong balls? You know, assorted kind of blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's organically just assorted like ping pong here, 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 here. So that we follow the trail of the ping pong balls to the final frame. Do you see what I'm saying? I think that might be a little more compelling, a little more interesting than just adding lines or arrows. So think about that. All right, I'll tell you what, here's the thing. Now you've given your intent here, right? And I've commented on your intent. I think we got a pretty productive critique thus far in that regard. But what I would like you to do, I really, for your final submission, I think it would be best if you were to redraw these and really address the comments. This way, the transition from our sketch to our digital won't be so abrupt. At least you'll have some final comments and some things that I can comment on Sunday in grading. So in a perfect world, you don't have to. I mean, this does pretty much suffice the requirements. But in a perfect world, I'd love to see you reconfigure your sketches in a way that kind of draws connections. Okay, now, okay, so how can we draw a connection between a mouse and the ping pong paddle? Well, it could be as simple as this. It could be as simple as having a ping pong table. Okay, so in your opening scene, you have a ping pong table here. These two guys are playing ping pong, and off in the background, there's a desk with a computer, and the mouse is sitting on the desk. Okay, and then in this frame here, you could show that same thing in the background, where the desk is on the computer in the background, what to do. And then maybe in this frame, you could have him turn around with the light bulb, or turn around, look at the desk, then turn around and go, aha. Do you see what I'm saying? So that way we're making a connection between the actual ping pong paddle, as it seems to be an element in the background. So theoretically, he breaks his ping pong paddle, he looks around, what do I do? Wait a second, there's my computer, I'll use part of it. See what I'm saying? That way you're drawing a connection between the mouse and the ping pong paddle, okay? Instead of just introducing a mouse out of nowhere, okay? Hope that makes sense. Okay, at this point, like I said, I'd like to see some refinement of your sketches for your final submission on Sunday. Not required, but in a perfect world, love to see it. And of course, if you have any questions at all, please let me know. I'll be glad to make any necessary clarifications. How does that sound? All right, Damon, great job. Thank you very much.